a thought has just come across me. What if you didn't believe in being tired? If you refused to be tired? That goes deeper than just the mental act of saying I'm not tired. It goes into the habits that you perform in the day-to-day life. Now I'm thinking about that this morning because as I drove in to come and execute my running session, I decided I don't want to be tired. But then I had to think about why I have the honour and the right to think that I can think like that. And that's because of my habits, which I'll tell you in a second because I need to get on with this session. But just think about that. It's more than just a mentality thing, it's about what else you do. So, the first habit would be consistency. Now you might be thinking, Tristan, how's consistency a habit? Well, consistency is the habit that leads to all the other habits actually being effective. If you do not possess the ability to be consistent, then nothing else matters. You could be the greatest sleeper, but if you only do that once every once in a while, it's going to be ineffective. But if you're a mediocre sleeper, mediocre to good, but you're able to be consistent with that every night, you're actually going to see the results. So before I go into the rest of the habits that are going to allow you to be in the mindset to be more energized and to decide that you don't want to be tired, think about if you are a consistent person and how you can become a consistent person. Now, I've got a second stage of my running session here. As you can tell, I'm already pretty gassed, but we're almost halfway, so let's get after it. So, after consistency, the next three habits all work off of each other. So, you're going to have to get good sleep, good exercise, and good nutrition. So, how each of them looks is sleep, pretty simple, 8 hours. But don't fall into the trap of just doing 8 hours whenever you want. You have to do 8 hours at the same time every night. So you set a bedtime, say it's 11 o'clock for me. I go to bed about 11, wake up at 7. And because I'm consistent with that, although I could be getting more sleep, I recover consistently and I recover well because my body's used to it. Now, exercise. Same again, except when you exercise, you want to be progressively making it harder every week. Progressive overload. You want to add a little bit more weight to the bar. You want to add one more rep if you're running. Try push yourself a little bit faster, whatever it is. You want to do something a little bit better every week. And then lastly, nutrition. You want to be pretty simple in what you eat. Single ingredient foods. I'm talking fruit, meat, honey, eggs, fish, milk. Simple ingredients. Nothing. You don't want to be eating too many processed shit. Of course, you'll still have one or two things every week, but as long as the majority of the time you are eating well, single ingredient foods, it'll pay off. I've got a little bonus tip that I'll put on there as well, because consistency plus those three habits, you can go far, but you can go one step further. The final tip is simple: black coffee, and then follow that with cold water, sparkling or still. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I prefer sparkling. I like to trick myself into thinking the bubbles give me extra energy, so you do what you prefer. But if you have first thing in the morning, if you have a black coffee, one or two, nice and strong, and then you put in some ice cold water to wash that down with, that's just energy guaranteed. That elevates where your levels can be naturally, because what that does is it increases your heart rate, obviously, as caffeine does, which means your blood will flow better, which means it'll be easier for you to have an intense exercise session and just have intent around how your day goes about. You're going to get more blood to your brain, think sharper, act sharper. That's it. The last thing I want to leave you with again is the concept of what would your life look like if you just refused to be tired? If you chose energy every time, what would your life look like if you chose energy every time in everything that you do? Have that task, think about it, journal about it, and just think, what would your life look like if you chose energy every time? See you next time.